At the end of the day, I think the one thing I found that helps me cope the most with everything is understanding that, in medicine, there are no 100%. Life is just as equal to death. It happens the same way each time. It's all natural. The ways it happens is unnatural sometimes with death, but, all in all, death is a natural thing. And that as providers, we're not here to heal the body. We're not here to fix the body. We're here to help the body fix itself. We're here to give it what it needs to reset if it needs that. And if it's not ready to reset, if it's not ready to start healing, if it's not ready to do what it needs to do, and even if us helping it by giving it the right meds, the right splints, whatever procedure we need to do to help the body do its thing that we cover. And if, even after doing all that work, if the body still is not ready to recover, and it's not, being able to be okay with that, we're out of that control. We did what we could, and the body just could not do it itself. It didn't want to. You can't, I think the biggest thing I see with people with burnout is they blame themselves for not being able to do more, or they sit on that part. And you have to understand that, sometimes you've done all you can do. You can't make all those changes all the time. So being able to sit with that is just, for me, being able to understand that I can't heal I can't heal a body. I can't change how a person's going to heal. All I can do is give it what it needs to help it heal. And if it decides not to go the other half mile, then that's on it. I can't put that burden on myself.
Yeah. You can't save everyone.
No, knowing what helps me is, at first I would beat myself up for a lot of things, and constantly looking back on what I could have done better. And finally I got to a point where it was like, I am human too. I am not God. And I literally did the best I could with what I was given. And in this situation, I did what I could. And also having your people, I think, I'm really blessed to have a great team that I work with that, we all have the dark humor and we all help each other get through it. And having a healthy support system really goes a long way. That's what's helped me.
Yeah. Everything you hear today from myself and my guests is opinion only and doesn't represent any organizations or companies that any of us are affiliated with. The stories you hear have been modified to protect patient privacy, and any resemblance to real individuals is coincidental. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice nor used to diagnose any medical or healthcare conditions.
I suffered from burnout, not due to death or anything like that when I was on the ambulance. I burned out. I really started hating emergency medicine and being on the ambulance because I had a partner that would criticize everything I did. He was my first paramedic partner. I'd been with the EMTs. So I was still learning all about the ALS life of the emergency medicine side. And when I wouldn't do something his way, he would get upset and then tell me there's multiple ways to do it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's counterintuitive if you're telling me to do it your own way.
Right.
And it's just like, we would butt heads on almost every single call. And one night, stuff just exploded. I ended up crying. We called the supervisor. We ended up going home that night just because screaming and yelling, it just wasn't good.
And that can make a long 12 hours.
Oh, it made a long 12 hours and a long 6 months I was with him. Because typically we try and switch every 3 months, 4 months or so. If you want to switch. You don't have to switch. You can pick your same partner. But even I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say anything about anything unless patient safety comes into play or my personal safety comes into play. So I'm just going to let him do his thing. Whatever. If I take the patient, cool, I'm in the back. It's my call now. So I'm going to do what I need to do. Unless something changes where it now becomes out of my comfort zone and I need him. But I left that because I was very burnt out. I left that, went into the hospital, work with great people. I already knew most of them from the ambulance and from doing security as well. And I really enjoy both sides. Now I'm part-time on the ambulance. I love it. I try to work with as many medics as I can. Just everybody has their own way of doing it. But with my confidence of just being able to understand what's going on within the body. Because as an EMT, you don't get to learn a whole bunch of that during your class or even out in the field. That's something you've got to learn.
Yeah.
And like, unfortunately, he was a burnt out paramedic. He was done.
I feel like that's usually the case too.
That's what it is. Like, you get that burnout partner, especially when you're brand new. You think this is normal.
Yeah.
Like, across the board, you think it is normal. And then you end up with another partner. And unfortunately, they're a new paramedic, but they were a burnout EMT.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, they're super excited to do paramedic things. But when it comes to EMT things, they're so burnt out.
I put tube down slow.
Yeah.
Well, that's an unfortunate thing too, because I feel like in healthcare, you've got to be willing to teach, regardless of what your level is. Like, it's something we're all learning something new every day. Like, none of us know all of it, you know, including docs. I mean, you should be learning something every day. And if you're not willing to teach new people in the field, like, you're kind of in the wrong field.